Welcome back, guys. So basically, congratulations for creating your very first web page. If this is actually the first time you created a web page, okay. So before we go on to look at the structure of a typical HTML page, I would like us to talk about three concepts, okay, that we really need to understand if we are going to properly learn HTML. And basically, I'm going to start by creating a file, and I'm going to name this file components.html. Okay, so components and HTML file. Okay, and I'm going to save it. So the three components I'm going to talk about is what I really explained in the previous two lectures. Okay, and the first is tags, the second is elements, and the third is attributes. Okay, so now let's get to it. Okay, so what is a tag? Essentially, a tag is a character that is surrounded by angled brackets, HTML, and tells the browser how to display certain content. So for example, in our first page, we simply just wrote a line of text, welcome to my first page, right? Okay, now if we wanted to do that in a typical HTML page, we'll need to wrap that content in a tag. Okay, so let's just go ahead and write our very first tag, which is going to be a paragraph tag. So angled brackets P, which stands for paragraph, and the greater than sign. Now, one thing we need to note is that my text editor immediately generated what is described as a closing tag. So there is an opening paragraph tag and there is a closing paragraph tag. Okay, so basically this is a tag. Now, what I'm going to do now is I am going to use this same concept to explain what an element is. So I'll put two spaces and paste in the tag again. Now, if I come within this tag and write some content, for example, this is a paragraph. Okay. Now, all of this content here, in other words, the opening tag, the content of the tag within the tag, and the closing tag, all of these make up an element. Okay, so whereas this is a tag, this is an element. Okay, now attributes basically are properties that further add some information about a tag. So for example, within this well, before I talk much, I'm going to save this. Okay, and I'm going to open the page in the browser. So HTML and components. Okay, so I would like you to just ignore these tag elements and attributes. Our focus is on this area. This is a paragraph. Now, do you notice that this first paragraph tag doesn't show on the page, and the paragraph tag on this line 7 also does not show on the page? So essentially, the browser only uses this tag to know how to display the content of our web page. Okay, so the last is attribute, right? Okay, so now I'm basically going to copy this line 7 and two spaces, and I'll paste it. Now, to explain what attributes is, I said it gives more information about a tag or an element. So I'm just going to write an attribute within this paragraph tag. Usually attributes are written within the opening tag, So I'm just going to say title, and the title is equals to, so I'm just going to say paragraph. I'll save this. Now, I'm going to refresh the page so we can see what happens before I explain. So I'll make this different. I'll say this is another paragraph. Okay, and then I'll save. Now let's refresh the page. Okay, now this is another paragraph. Now you may want to quickly say that there's no difference between the first and the second paragraph. Well, watch out for the difference. I'm going to take my mouse and hover on the second paragraph, and as you can see, there is this paragraph in Word just below it. So it's like a tooltip feature. Okay, so this is an attribute. It has a name and a value. Okay, so subsequently in other lectures we're going to see we're going to use tags, elements and attributes in the creation of our web page. So having understood the concept of tags, because we're going to be using that word a lot, elements and attributes, let's get into the structure of a typical HTML page. See you there.